Family's complicated, very complicated.
In an attic for 3 years.
If your family loves you based on a lie, then they don't love you at all, do they?
It's not like our family's playing to a dark secret.
From the network that brought you Flowers in the Attic, If There Be Thorns, premieres Sunday, April 5th at 8.
Hi, this is Sam.
This is Becca.
We're getting ready to watch If There Be Thorns, the third installment of, you can hear the music playing here,
Of V.C. Andrews.
So what's this DVD say? Well, the Dollinger saga continues with If There Be Thorns, based on the third novel in V.C. Andrews' best-selling Flowers in the Attic series. Although Christopher and Kathy have escaped Foxworth Hall, they live together as man and wife in California with Kathy's 2 sons, Jory and Bart. The dark past is always lurking behind. When a mysterious woman moves in next door and befriends Bart, he begins a strange transformation. In fact, it is Corinne, and she introduces Bart to his evil great-grandfather's diary. Bart accuses his parents of being the devil's spawn, as the secrets of the past are held to the fire. Heather Graham returns as Corinne, Christopher and Kathy's mother. Jason Lewis stars as Christopher, with Rachel Carpani as Kathy, and Mason Cook as Kathy's son, Bart. This is the third, and actually the final, because they're always set up as like a trilogy. The other one is a past story of the Dollingers. How Kathy and Christopher come together. They see the Dollingers continue to coexist miserably as their deeply troubled relationships, dark sequence of tragedies come to a head in a way that will haunt the family and its progeny forever. Oh, they have an adopted daughter in this one. Seeds in the next one, Seeds of Yesterday. But this one's called If There Be Thorns. In between this, we watched the original movie version of Flowers in the Attic. The DVD, strangely enough, comes with a movie poster talking about how Wes Craven did it, which he did not. He was originally going to do it, but he did not, obviously. But I watched the original one, and I like the Lifetime one better.
Why?
Well, I like some of the choices in the movie one. Like they really tease up and tell you a lot more. They explain more of what happened. But why do you watch Flowers in the Attic?
To make yourself feel better about yourself.
No, the incest. And they hinted it, but it's just not. It's just not. They don't they tease it and then that's it.
Yeah.
And the special effects are not good. The makeup effects on the lashes look bad, but there is one awesomely grindhousey scene where the mom has the whip, and the whip's like animated when she whips it, and it moves around real slow, and just the father's just in bed like giggling like an idiot while they whip the daughter. I thought, this movie's going to be scummy as hell. I'm going to love it. And then that's all they could live up to.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you about Wes Craven's Flowers in the Attic. Would you like to know the difference?
Why didn't he do it?
Apparently, he wrote a script for the movie that was rejected. You can find it on the complete V.C. Andrews site. For the most part, Wes Craven stayed true to the novel. He used large chunks of the book's dialogue, and the characters are dead on. So claims Lady J3000 at blogspot.com. However, inexplicably, John Amos Jackson is replaced by a character named Doberman, who is mute, grunts, and lets out ungodly shrieks. In her opinion, there were too many references to bodily functions. The script moves pretty quick. The poisoned donuts show up a couple days after the children get there. Chris is attacked by a guard dog when they get to the house. Corinne merely forgets to lock the door so the kids can see the party. The script gets a little silly here. Kathy and Chris hang out in a mesh closet watching the party, but they manage to steal champagne. Chris dons a wig and some old clothes. The servants just assume he's a guest. Chris gets caught by his mother and he runs off with her and Doberman in hot pursuit. Corinne is a major bitch, actually referring to Chris as a little bastard. The Doberman catches Chris and almost kills him, but the grandmother stops him, which is out of character. Unlike the movie that actually got made, Craven includes Kathy's discovery of the sex book and her kissing a sleeping Bart. Instead of Chris raping Kathy, the sex is actually consensual, which I thought would have worked better for the story. I didn't like how in the novel she instantly forgave him for the rape and never showed any anger over it. The ending is really fast-paced. The discovery of the poison, Corey's death, and Corinne's wedding happen almost simultaneously. Kathy winds up on the roof with Carrie, running from Doberman, who's intent on killing them. Chris having learned about the poison from a strangely knowledgeable servant who crashes the wedding. Kathy kills Doberman, and they announce who they are and what their father did to them. Bart turns his back on her, and the kids happily ever after. In my opinion, a decent script, much better than the ultimate script. I hate the fact they cut out the whole relationship between Chris and Kathy in the movie. That's a major point of the book. This wasn't the only way the studio screwed the film. The accidental death of the mother was the last-minute addition to the film. The director actually refused to shoot the scene, and eventually someone else did. Killing Corinne was a dumb move as the character plays an integral part in the next two novels. They basically killed all hopes for a sequel in a single movie.
Maybe they didn't want to make a sequel.
I think they would have made a sequel regardless.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But there were parts of the other one that I really liked.
Yeah.
However, in case you're wondering, Becca's wrapping Christmas gifts. Does she have a gift for you? Who knows? Maybe you should send an email to BNS about movies.
And I'll send you my extra copy. What do I have an extra copy?
Gmail.com. We have an extra copy of No, we gave that away. We have an extra copy of Count Yorga Vampire that could be yours. Victoria Tennant was good in this.
Yes.
I really liked her in this.
She was a lot meaner than Heather Graham.
Yeah, Heather Graham's not a good actress.
Who do you think that?
I mean, unless she's playing Roller Girl.
All of her characters in every other movie are exactly the same, though.
Victoria Tennant?
No, Heather Graham.
Yeah, I know, but do you know who Victoria Tennant was married to?
Who?
Steve Martin.
Really?
Yep, they married in 86, divorced in 94.
Why'd they divorce? Did you say?
No, you know he dated after her? What's her
Who
name?
he dated?
Who Steve Martin dated after Victoria
Claire
Tennant?
Danes.
No, the girl that was with Ellen, the one that thought she was an alien.
Portia de Rossi and H.
And hey, shh. Louise Fletcher was in this.
Yes.
She played the grandma. She was also Nurse Ratched in One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. She's also in one of some other great movies, such as
She's in a lot of my favorite movies.
Cruel Intentions,
Yes.
Exorcist 2, The Heretic, Firestarter,
Yep.
Brainstorm. You know, she's only the third actress ever to win an Academy Award, a BAFTA, and a Golden Globe for a single performance. For One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, the only other actors that ever did it are Audrey Hepburn and Liza Minnelli.
Oh.
Yeah, she's also on the show Shameless. No, she's still acting.
We don't watch normal TV.
It's on Showtime. Christy Swanson's in this.
Buffy.
And she's also in Pretty in Pink and Ferris Bueller's Day Off. Her
Plays the girl that waves at Ducky.
her first film appearance is in Deadly Friend, the Wes Craven movie. Yes. She's the girl.
If
She's
she would have
the.
done more child acting, she would have been as big as Drew Barrymore.
You think? She's in Higher Learning, the John Singleton movie. She's also in The Phantom.
Yeah.
She is in Big Daddy,
Yep.
the Adam Sandler movie. She posed nude for Playboy in
She was
2002.
The Chase with Charlie Sheen.
Yes. In the Law and Order episode Bombshell, she played a fake Anna Nicole Smith. She was on Skating with Celebrities.
Yes.
She stole away
Yeah.
her partner while his wife was still pregnant.
Yep. So I was just going to say that. She was a train wreck.
Yes.
And she is
They're
someone-
married now, though.
Well, no, I know it's the same story as like Leanne Rimes and Eddie Cerebrin or whatever his name is.
Yeah.
But when she did that, like during that time,
Yeah.
like remember when Paula Abdul went through her bad phase when
Yeah.
she was on American Idol? Everyone thought she was drunk all the time.
And she was
It
on
was
pills.
the same way. Like any interview she gave, she sounded like she was on something.
Jeb Stuart Adams is in this. His parents are Nick Adams, the actor who was on the TV show The Rebel. And he was friends with James Dean and Elvis Presley. He was super involved in the drugs, to say the least. He wrote a crazy book about his time too.
Yeah.
Nick Adams also, when he couldn't get any roles and other things, he was in a ton of Toho movies. He's in Monster Zero,
What are Toho movies?
Godzilla movies.
Oh.
He was in Frankenstein Conquers the World, the Japanese version of Frankenstein, and Monster Zero, which is the sixth, what do you call it, Godzilla movie.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then his mom is Carol Nugent, who was a child actress. Nick Adams died in 1968 when he was real young. It was a widely publicized death.
And this one though, it says Emily Tennant, isn't it? Do you think that's Victoria Tennant's someone?
I looked it up and it doesn't say there's any relationship.
Oh.
But the guy who played the boy in this, Jeb Stuart Adams,
Yeah.
he is Troy's friend number one in the Goonies. He's also in Once...
Oh, yes.
And in Once Bitten, he's World War I ace vampire.
Yes, that's where I know him from.
Yes.
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 He dresses up like a, him and the Civil War guy hang out. I know exactly, I knew him from somewhere.
Oh, my baby.
Anyone who's seen Once Bitten,
Yeah.
they all say there's a really funny scene.
Yeah.
Do you remember it?
I don't think I've ever seen it. We have it.
You've never seen it?
No.
That was the vampire I dressed up as in preschool. I'll have to show it to you. No, there's one scene because they live in a mansion in L.A.
Uh-huh.
And all the vampires live in coffins.
Uh-huh.
And it's almost like a big ballroom almost.
Yeah.
And the guy who takes care of them, he's a flamboyant black gay guy. He's the vampire too. They all say, "Good night, Sebastian. Good night, Sebastian. Good night, Sebastian." It takes like 20 minutes to go through all of them because there's so many vampires living there.
Aww.
You have to watch it.
V.C. Andrews demanded and got script approval when she sold the film. She turned down 5 scripts, including a violent and graphic filled with incest script by Wes Craven,
Yeah.
which never even got through the producers, before choosing Jeffrey Bloom, who would also direct. His script was closest in the novel, but he did not have full control. And the studio continued making plot point changes, including ridding the film of incest. So, Lindsay Parker is also in this movie. She's in the movie Shocker, and she plays Kirstie Alley's daughter in the movie Infidelity.
No, but who was she in it?
She's Carrie.
And she's little?
Yeah, when she was little. Her father is the drummer of the British rock band UFO. Corinne was actually almost played by Sharon Stone.
The original?
Yeah. Kirstie
Old enough.
Swanson claims when V.C. Andrews met her, she said, "You are Kathy." Louise Fletcher wanted to go deep inside her role, so she called V.C. Andrews one night to ask about the motivation. She was also so into part that she stayed in character even when there wasn't shooting. "I couldn't let myself think about distractions," she said. Andrews was given a cameo as a maid, scrubbing the glass of a window. That one they show where the lady's in the window looking out in the one scene, and when they tried to escape, she said, that is V.C. Andrews. She said, "The writer is a person who wipes the windows clean. so that the readers can clearly see into the lives of the characters. Bloom claims that after the film is completed, the producers approached him to refilm a new ending. And one of their many ideas was that the siblings kill Corinne during their escape. He talked them out of it and was unable to convince them otherwise, so he quit. The new ending, partly inspired by the ending of Wes Craven's screenplay, was filmed by someone else. This film was filmed at Castle Hill, a Tudor revival in Ipswich, Maryland, and was the main location. Let me see what else, if anything else was filmed there.
I know what we're watching next.
It's a National Historical... Oh, Witches of Eastwick, you were right. Also filmed...
I told you!
Also filmed at the same location. It's Daryl Van Horn's house.
There's a few movies that have been filmed there.
As is
house.
Ghosts of Girlfriends Past.
Yeah.
Also filmed there.
Where was it made?
It was filmed... It's...
The house.
The house is the Castle Hill in Ipswich, Massachusetts.
I was
But
going to say it has to be.
The Strangling was filmed somewhere else. It was filmed at Greystoke Mansion. It's also a Tudor revival house. Here's what's been shot there. She's almost everything. Batman and Robin.
Yeah.
The Big Lebowski. The Bodyguard.
Yep.
Dark Shadows. The 91 TV series used it as Collinwood, the Collins family mansion and estate. Dead Ringer. Death Becomes Her.
Oh.
The Dirty Dozen. The Disorderly Orderly. Dynasty the Reunion. Eraserhead. Garfield, A Tale of Two Kitties. Ghostbusters 2. The Golden Child. Indecent Proposal. Jumpin' Jack Flash. Mercury Rising. The First Muppets Movie. 2 episodes of Murder, She Wrote. National Treasure Book of Secrets. Phantom of the Paradise.
Baby.
The Prestige. Rockstar. Spider-Man, Spider-Man 2 and 3, Star Trek Into Darkness, Stripes, There Will Be Blood, The Vampire Diaries, What Women Want, it's where Lauren Holly gets married, The We Belong Together video by Mariah Carey, Witches of Eastwick,
I know every bit of that video.
and X-Men have all been filmed in this house.
We belong together.
Yeah.
You know who's in that music video?
Who?
The guy from Prison Break. Whatever that big guy was. I'm the main actor. And Eric Roberts. He plays her husband or her husband-to-be, but the younger guy is the guy she's running away to.
Originally, when the film was shown, the young girls they showed it to were also the, what do you call it? The ones who actually read the novel were really upset because there was a shot of Kathy taking off all her clothes and getting in the bathtub and her brother watching.
Oh.
Yeah. So they had 3 different endings for the movie and they picked the worst one, the one that you've seen now. The original ending went like this. The surviving children interrupt the wedding ceremony and confront Corinne. All in attendance are horrified. The groom is shocked speechless. The grandmother is outraged. The grandfather is still alive in his wheelchair to hear it all. Corinne denies everything, but it doesn't matter. It's too late. The children look half dead. They leave the wedding, but before leaving the house, the grandmother tries to attack them with a giant kitchen knife. The butler, John Hall, saves them. The grandmother is subdued, and the children leave. This movie debuted at number 3 in the charts. And Louise Fletcher was nominated for a Saturn Award, which were the Sci-Fi Awards.
But what does sci-fi have to do with
And they're like Sci-Fi and Horror Awards.
Oh.
They did try to make a second one.
Yeah.
They wanted to get Petals in the Wind off. They couldn't do it. She goes, I wasn't too thrilled with the script, said Chrissy Swanson. I know Kathy goes through a lot in the next book, and the script was a real, quote, sex fest. She gets pregnant and has many affairs. There's a brother, and then she has an affair with Julian, and there's Paul the doctor. I was actually kind of wondering if I should do the sequel, you know? I just didn't know if it should be done.
Yeah.
Anyway, so maybe they didn't really make a good version the first time, but I think the Lifetime was like, you know what people want to see? People want to see fashion, and they want to see craziness, and they want to see people killed with donuts, and they want to see incest. And you know what? Who are we at Lifetime to say, because you know what? People are, if you would say to me, Sam, what's Flowers in the Attic about? I wouldn't tell you it's gothic romance.
Yeah.
I'd say, it's about incest. That's what people want to see.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's what this one's about. This one, everybody's grown up. They're in different places. At the end of every novel, it seems like things are going to be really positive. And then they're like, I'm not. V.C. Andrews is like, I'm not done with that family yet. I think they haven't been through enough. I always think of the author as this omnipotent God. And I always look at my characters when I write fiction, and I put them through a lot, but I always feel for them and care about them, and I want them, in the end, to come out well. The youngest daughter in these ones, the one that dies in the second book, Carrie, who just makes her own donuts and dies. The author's like, you know what? I don't like this little girl. I would like
to have a horrible time.
I would like to make a series of books where a girl is forced into an attic and is poisoned and almost dies, but her brother dies. And she doesn't even get to have incest with everybody. And when she finally falls in love with a preacher, she invites her mom, and her mom acts like she doesn't know who she is, so she makes her own donut and kills herself. Her hero's journey is from poop.
Well, when you think about it,
she doesn't even get a hero's journey.
In that attic, they were very sheltered.
Yeah.
So she didn't know how bad things could get, and she just thought she was almost playing dumb to it,
Her hero's journey is horrible. She doesn't even get one.
No.
Her journey is just like, meh.
Bye.
Goodbye. Thanks for playing. All right, well, if you're wondering if there be thorns, there be thorns. I'm going
Would
to...
there be thorns? There will be.
Let there be thorns. Oh, I'm a Dowager family member. The last movie, it seemed like everything would be positive. But wait, what if people find out that my mom and dad are brother and sister, who were sired by an uncle and niece? That couldn't happen, could it? Because we saw that Roller Girl was in a lunatic asylum. She's on 5th floor of St. Francis with Aunt Janice. What is going to happen next? Surely I can just sip my beautiful Blake cider and sit back and nothing bad will happen. Oh wait, Lifetime produced this. What could happen next?
Not a chance.
Well, that's my song for this one. If you can get If There Be Thorns, and let me tell you what.
You can.
You can from Walmart, $9. You can get all of them for $12 on one DVD, and I think you should rush out and do that.
That's the best deal.
Keyword.
We probably spent $20 to get the whole thing.
You know what? It shows up on our credit card statement as incest lovers.
Yep.
So, here we go.
Mr. Projectionist, stop the show. Here's great news you ought to know. We've just got a shipment of taste-thrilled treats, all tip-top quality and delicious eats. There are hot dogs and popcorn and candy galore. There's soft drinks and coffee and a whole lot more. So direct your steps to our refreshment stand to enjoy the finest snacks in all the land.
Show starts in 5 minutes. Yum, yum. It's time for a tasty and refreshing snack.
We just got done watching this movie. What's this one called?
Let There Be Thorns.
Let There Be Thorns. Wow. Wow.
You tell him how into it you were.
This is the
This
most...
is my baby's favorite Lifetime movie.
This movie was ridiculous.
Yeah.
Let me see if I can do credit to this story. So the grandmother moves in next door to them. She tries to turn the grandkids against them so she can get the family back together. But it turns out the butler wanted the family to end, and he wanted to kill everybody.
Yes, he did.
And then he tried to set everything on fire, and she stabbed him. Spoiler warning.
Mm-hmm.
And meanwhile, the kid was crazy, and at the end, the kid still might be crazy.
Yes.
And people are banging in the attic.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a lot of sex in this for a Lifetime movie.
There is.
I really wish this movie was made in like 78 and played on 42nd Street. Because it would be great. I'm sure the book version of this,
Yes.
every sex scene is just completely written out. Don't you think?
Yeah.
I bet in that they're really purple prose, as we say in the beginning.
Yeah.
As we say in the business. What did you think about it?
I thought it was good, but I liked the first two better.
Oh no, this one was awesome. Because like it was like all sorts of just angle upon angle.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what I mean? And like storyline, and everybody had an issue. Yeah. And then there's the Bart tried to drown Cindy.
Mm-hmm.
And there's something else. It's just there's just a lot happened in this.
Mm-hmm.
And then I still have one more. There's still one more.
There is.
Yeah.
The Seeds of Yesterday.
Seeds of Yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. I found this place, Bookshelves of Doom. And someone did a review. By the way, the cover of the original book, amazing. It's his face inside Thorns. And don't worry, it'll be... If you were listening to this podcast, just look at the art from this episode of the podcast.
Does it have the other one pictures?
I don't know. I can find them. Here's what it says about this. Oh, by the way,
Yes.
in the book,
Mm-hmm.
in the book, Bart injures himself on purpose, jams his finger into the wound to make it bleed more. His drinks from the fish pond, and he's the one who finds Clover dead in a hollow tree. He's not sure if he killed her or not, and he's decided that he himself is dead. But it's in his leg. He has hives, and he's antibiotic, and he must. Oh man, this just
Too much.
too much. The real story. Kathy has twin beds in the attic. They never really explain why they're there.
I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like, that's what I asked you. Like, why did you do that anyways?
I know.
I'm left feeling perplexed.
The rich lady and the butler arrive, and Bart continues to channel Carrie by saying, I hate black dresses that drag on the ground. I hate old ladies who wear black veils over their head. I hate spooks.
Mm-hmm.
This person has quotes from... Also, while Bart is at the house,
Yes.
all he does is sit in her lap and is allowed to be petted and pampered and kissed repeatedly on the cheek.
King's book would be Let There Be Barks. Yeah. What?
Bart tears up Joy's garden and replants the parts in his own garden, and he kills a cat in the book.
What?
Yeah, he keeps killing cats.
No, thank you.
Yeah,
Never reading it.
yeah, because he doesn't get a pony. Also, she buys a saddle for his dog.
I think that this book, when was it written? The 80s?
Late 70s, early 80s.
Because that's like the difference, like kids wanting ponies and...
Do you want to know the beginning of it?
Yes.
In the late evening, when the shadows were long, I sat quietly unmoving near one of Paul's marble statues. I heard the statues whispering to me of the past I could never forget, hitting slowly the future I was trying to ignore. Flickering ghostly in the pale light of the rising moon were the will-o-wisp regrets, which told me daily I could have and should have done differently. But I am what I've always been, a person ruled by instinct. It seems I can never change. That's Kathy talking. And throughout the book, Jory and Bart narrate some of the chapters. Jory's real name is Julian. He is.
That was his dad's name, I think.
Yeah. But they call him Drury in memory of Julian, who died in the book not in an accident, but killed himself with embroidery scissors, and Corey, who was murdered by Donut. He wants to be a famous dancer, so his father will not have lived and died in vain. The way to a future happiness is not in basing our life around dead abuse of rapist father. He's safe in the valley where the wind doesn't blow, my mother said often, too often as if the wind blowing greatly distressed her. They have a pleasingly plump cook housekeeper named Emma. She waits in young Bart a lot because he spills everything he touches. The boys spend a lot of time sitting on a wall, talking to one another. I often wondered what different facets my parents had. One for the public to view, another for Bart and me, and the third, most fervent side, they showed only to each other. How could they know their two sons were not always discreet enough to turn away and leave when they should? The father said, I want you to solemnly promise that if anything happens to me, be it tomorrow or years from now, you swear that you'll never, so help you God, hide Bart and Jory in the attic so you can go unencumbered into another marriage. I wouldn't do that. I couldn't. I love you and I love Bart. Even if I sometimes look at you with shadows in your eyes, I would never, never hide my children away in the attic.
Never.
No. Wow. I really just got to read this whole crazy, all these books.
And now I think we should buy them and read them in bed.
Yeah. Also, in the book, to keep the pain going in his leg, Bart poops on his fingers. And then
he doesn't.
And then puts the poop into the
he
wound.
gets sick.
Yeah.
No, he does not.
Yeah. Also, Cindy the little girl is naked in one scene and is tormenting Bart with her bare flesh. Keep in mind, she's 2 years old.
What?
Yes.
Oh my God.
Oh, man. Oh, this book.
It's like child pornography.
It's, how anybody, they were probably like, you know what? These books have sold a lot. These books have sold a ton. We should maybe make it into a movie. Oh, wait. There's a kid getting a boner over a 2-year-old? Maybe we shouldn't make a movie of this. And they're like, you know what? Let's clean it up. They cleaned this up, and this is still... And keep in mind, I have Thriller, They Call Me One Eye on DVD, and a lot of other really horrible movies. This is one of the scummiest movies I've ever watched.
Yeah.
And they cut a lot out. I would like a whole movie of the kid pooping into his wounds. What do you give this movie?
I give this one a C.
Really?
I wasn't crazy about it.
Oh, I give it a B minus.
It was not as
C+.
good as
I loved it.
that.
Well, guess what, fans? Good news. We got one left. Up next is Seeds of Yesterday. Do you want to know what it's about?
Yeah.
The saga of the tormented family comes to an end. The Dollingers continue to coexist miserably as their deeply troubled relationships, dark secrets, and tragedies come to a head in a way that will haunt the family and its progeny forever. Jason Lewis and Rachel Campani reprise their roles as Christopher and Kathy, while James Maslow plays Bart, and Sammy Hanratty plays Cindy, the rebellious adopted daughter.
She's rebellious now?
Yeah, and you know what I bet happens?
See? They fall in love.
Oh, I bet. Just straight up. What would be a good euphemism for me to use there? Raw dead dogging?
Yeah.
Angelo says, Ange, he said, we did not need to see the dog dead in this movie. He feels that anytime humans want to get across a point in a movie to show how evil someone is, they always do a dog death. And he said he doesn't like it. He said it's cheap and
unnecessary.
And he goes, a lot of people comment about films and they don't like the way things are done and don't like prejudices in films. And the dead dog to show that someone is evil is the oldest is the oldest prejudice in films. And yes, a dog gets work, but at the expense
of stupid humans.
He said, "Where are the movies? Always in movies,
all dogs go to heaven.
Dogs are always serving men. Where are the movies that show what it's really like, where dogs are brought whatever food they want? Now,
Dogs do better than their parents.
granted, tonight, I'm speaking for Angelo. Tonight I had to go to the basement because I lost my mind about turkey. And I wouldn't be quiet. But I think that that's my right. And he's like, if I was ever in a movie, and they said, your character's going to die. No, not to get over a human. No. No, I don't want, that is, I'm not going to be an Uncle Lassie.
Uncle Lassie.
And go find the human in the well and show up dead later, or Rin Tin Tin or an Old Yeller. No, this is not what I do. I am an actor. And I will be in this movie and play a significant role.
He does.
Does Ange have any dogs that he feels were good? Like the dog in As Good as It Gets, he did not die. He moved and he was waited on by humans. A perfect role for a dog. Eddie from Frasier, another perfect role for a dog.
He said Homeward Bound was pushing it.
He's like, no, I don't want to go home.
They had to rough it.
I was on the road for years, and the only reason I ended up in a human's house is because I was trying to get a hamburger at a rest stop near Monroeville, and then I saw a truck. I saw a truck and chased it, and then they shot me with a dart gun.
I want to know about his capture.
Oh my God, they had that big metal pole where they lift him off the ground.
Halloween 5. Where they throw the chain link thing over him. That's
Yes.
the picture. It was like, and then he lifted up, shot up like Michael Myers, and they had to shoot him with a dart gun, and he went, wah! Like a
I'm sure Ange has a Dr. Loomis out there.
Myers.
A Dr. Loomis out there that tracked him.
Michael Myers / Frankenstein.
And then weeks later, a human came and got me, and I have never made his life easier.
No.
If anything, I have been tough on him.
Terrible.
But he loves me. I have transferred my love to his mate. And what a betrayal. And yet he still loves me. And well, you're just a cute little dog. Right? Tell the people. Okay, maybe you do feel that way.
Things I get away with a lot.
If there be thorns, that kid is crazy.
He was.
V.C. Andrews had a lot of shit going on in her head.
I think. She liked telling stories.
I think she was crazy.
I think she was like my husband, where she says, what if?
And go with me here. It's now this family, right? It is an uncle, and it's gonna be his niece. Oh my God, no!
What?
There are people online, and you know that there's these fan fiction people, right? They write their own things.
Yeah.
There are so many people online that are writing their own versions of these.
Yeah.
Where you can see they write a little bit more in-depth scenes. Oh, I'm going to read you I don't know if I want to read this or not.
Nice.
This article may scare me. Petals on the Wind, and My Sexual Awakening.
What?
This is from InsatiableBooksluts.com. It's not a
What
dirty.
is it?
It's about people that like to read books.
Okay.
Before I even start, I'd like you to bear with me in the inevitable awkwardness of this post. I'm new to this site and very new to the blunt, fearless writing style. Writing about sex isn't the easiest thing for me to do. When I was 12, my mom and my aunt turned 40 and took me, my sister, and my cousins on a cruise to the Caribbean. My mom took me to Borders the week before to buy a bunch of books, since we were going to have at least 3 days at sea. I knew I bought 5 or 6 books, but the books I bought were To Kill a Mockingbird, A Circle of Friends, and Flowers in the Attic. Wow, you went from great to Flowers in the Attic. I tried and failed to get through it. To Kill a Mockingbird before I picked up Flowers in the Attic, which I devoured. I discovered a taste for horror and romance, and I bought several more V.C. Andrews books, discovering that there were 3 sequels as well as a prequel. My family was really happy when I started buying my own books. Immediately, I started reading Petals in the Wind. I'll do a read-along at some point, But this is an excerpt. With each touch of his lips, of his hands, I was shot through with electrifying sensations. Till at last I was wild to have him enter me, no longer tender but fervent with his own fierce, demanding need to reach the same heights I was seeking. So reading this, I suddenly knew what I was expected. Sex could be awesome. Well, Oh. I started reading these books at 12 to 15 and did not have sex until I was 22 to 25. I truly expected the sex to feel like it did in a V.C. Andrews books. 10 years of expectation leading up to disappointment. Thanks, V.C. Andrews. My experiences in life have been vastly different than a V.C. Andrews novel, but my life has been relatively satisfying. That's Bridget who wrote this.
Bridget needs to keep her day job.
The first reply, if I had read this book at age 12, I would have thrown up. Dude, it totally grosses me out. And even then I did sigh a bit, like really? But most of the confusion, gross outness was buried under the whole, hey, this book's kind of interesting. It didn't scar me when I was 12. So that's how people find out. Also, do you want to hear something crazy?
Mm-hmm.
As a teenager, V.C. Andrews suffered a fall from a school stairwell, resulting in severe back injuries. The subsequent surgeries to correct these resulted in her suffering from crippling arthritis that required her to use crutches and a wheelchair for much of her life. The chronic pain from arthritis may have kept her from having sex for her entire life. Well, now these books make a little more sense. Go with it here. Let me go with this here. A crazy lady in a wheelchair that has never written a book before has suddenly sent us a manuscript about several generations of a family. Well, you know what? Publish it. Publish it and see if anyone... Oh, 12 million people read it? Oh my God, people are crazy. And we're going to watch the last one, which was not written by the crazy lady in the wheelchair. But at this point, wait, though that story makes no sense. How is she cleaning a window in the other movie?
The one from the 80s.
Yeah, she didn't look like she was in pain there.
I mean, they wheeled her up there.
Maybe they made a puppet.
Yeah.
Thanks for watching this movie with me.
Yeah.
Did you believe how much I enjoyed it?
More than I thought you would.
Well, you know, I have an amazing idea.
What?
Maybe I shouldn't say this on the podcast,
What?
because I may be querying it from ever happening. Hear me out.
Yeah.
The person who is V.C. Andrews now is not going to be alive forever.
Yeah.
What if I am the next V.C. Andrews?
You could be it.
Well, just go with it here. What if I think I could write these novels, and if we've set the bar with poop and wounds,
Yeah.
I think I could take that bar so low and just drive it into the ground.
The people would want to read it.
Ophelia's father was a firefighter. At least she thought he was. It turns out her father was the neighborhood cat.
My baby's good at writing trash novels.
I think that's my future.
Oh,
My future is writing Harlequin novels.
you can do it.
Would you read them?
Yeah.
Would you be embarrassed?
No, I would help you.
That's what we're going to do. No more podcasts, everybody. It's the last episode. So we should do a Harlequin romance podcast where I review Harlequin novels as I prepare to write my own.
So we'll write it about our animals. They're people.
Angelo. Well,
He's the Italian gardener.
John Amos is a creepy dude. I was really kind of creeped out in this episode by John Amos. I think if you watch the movie, if you watch the Lifetime movie, look, so here comes the time in the podcast where I have to say, if you would like to speak to us about this, reach out, comment on Facebook, or on the YouTube link, or email us at bnsaboutmovies@gmail.com. Tell us what you thought of this movie. Hey, we're going to watch the other one, so put your comments up before we even watch it. Or, if you'd really like to, maybe you could record a little bit Everybody has a voice recorder on their iPhone. Record a question and send it to us, and we'll play it on the air. If you do, you have a chance of winning a fabulous Count Yorga DVD. Just the first one. I bought the one with both of them. You'll only get the first one. Trivia note, Becca.
Yeah.
There was consideration that the second Dr. Fives movie was going to be Fives versus Count Yorga. They decided not to do it, but the guy who played Count Yorga is the bad guy in the second Dr. Fives movie. So there you go.
Okay.
Yeah, the guy who's trying to go to Egypt and
No.
live forever. Did you know, I heard today, speaking of live forever, that for that Oasis documentary that I got,
Yeah.
they located the girl that the one ran away with after the show at the Roxy in 1994
Yeah.
and disappeared. She's in the documentary talking about it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Are you excited that I know what that's about?
Yes.
Even in general terms?
Yes.
All right. Well, this is Sam,
And this is Becca.
and thanks for watching.
Yeah.
Becca and I also are not brother and sister.
At least that's what they think.
Wouldn't that be crazy?
They don't look like you and Noah.
No, though.
But I'm your daughter, or your dad's daughter from A Secret Affair.
Hmm.
We were brought together.
No.
It's boring.
Yeah. Ooh, romantic rain. Well, thanks for listening.
Or what if
Yeah.
Andrew's your brother and
No. What if
And our
Andrew and
stepbrother.
what if Andrew and Noah are brothers and you and I are just married?
that's more better. That's better.
Well, thanks for listening.
What if Angelo
Uh-huh.
and Lola are brother and sister?
What if Angelo and Lucida are brother and sister?
Then we're in trouble.
Yeah. Maybe that's why Andrew's itching.
He got herpes from his sister.
What? Anyways. Thanks for listening to another episode.
We'll see you at the movies.